I'm about to attempt a half pipe on this custom built Lego skateboard, to find out if it can be as good as a real one. That was until everything took a turn for the worse. Let me take you back in time to show you where it all started. How cool would it be if I could make a working Lego skateboard? So I gathered all the Technic pieces I could find. I hope this will be enough. And then got started building the deck. Because I first need to find out if it's even physically possible to build a board that is strong enough to hold me. However, I will later find out that this would take much longer than I initially thought. I just realized that it might be wise to get the dimensions of a real skateboard, so that I can more or less make a copy of the overall shape. You know what? I actually prefer measuring in studs. Once I finally got the dimensions I needed, I then set off to finish the first layer of the deck, using yellow pieces for the outer layer and black ones to represent the grip tape, with the only catch being that it's probably not going to help with grip at all. Well, I guess you could say I was a little optimistic, as I've already used most of the black pieces in just an hour of building, and I still have a long way to go. So I then went ahead and ordered a lot, but like actually a lot more pieces. Now it's simply a matter of waiting. However, I didn't know exactly how many pieces I would need, which ended up leading to another problem later on. We finally received all the packages, so let's get right back to building. So I immediately got back to work, and a little over an hour or so later, the first layer of the skateboard was finally finished. Or so I thought. Alright, let's see how well this thing holds up. Okay, mission abort. That's awfully unstable. After that test, I got a bit upset. But then I found some vital information on the internet which might possibly change the entire trajectory of this project. If you'd build a tower, it would take 375,000 2x2 bricks to crush the first brick. One 2x2 brick weighs around 1.35 grams, which equals to 0.00135 kilograms. If we multiply the number of bricks by the weight of a single brick, we find that a single brick should be able to hold around 506 kilograms, which is the same as 1115 lbs, or whatever that means. So I guess it should theoretically be possible to make this work, if I can trust my own calculations at least. I guess the solution simply comes down to one single word, being triangles. Although I just mentioned using triangles myself, I somehow immediately forgot about it afterwards. And this is bound to cause some major problems later on. It is so annoying to constantly make minor changes and then having to try 30 different times to get all those pins to line up and connect everything. Oh, and there's a fault again. But I did make sure to create a bunch of connection points, so that I can add another layer or two, to hopefully make it strong enough. I then made good use of those added pieces by constructing a second and third layer, as I felt that 3 layers might just be enough to succeed. While I was working on that, I also tried to make the transition to the angled section as smooth as possible, because of course I also want the skateboard to look at least reasonable in the end. I've reinforced one side of the deck and it really has helped a ton. Now I just need to do this for the entire thing. But I first had another look at my real skateboard to figure out where the wheels are located. Once I found that, I continued building up the second and third layer. I then placed one of these frames on either side, which I can later use to secure the wheels to. However, it wasn't looking like I would be at that stage anytime soon. I'm nearly out of these pins again, so I need to order another bunch of them before I can continue building the layers. I'm literally going to order 1,000 of these now. While we wait for the pieces to arrive, I think I'll start figuring something out for the wheels. Now, the wheels are a very tricky part, as they are the most stressed areas on a skateboard. So I figured to use these wheels and add 2 beams inside with the idea to make them more durable. I then dismounted the frames from earlier and started on a few designs to attach the wheels. There is just way too much play in these wheels because of these small axles. And the problem is that there aren't any larger ones in diameter. So I tried a few more designs, but it was now really starting to look like these axles would cause this project to fail. These darn axles, man, they're just so annoying. I do know that there are these third-party metal axles available on the internet, which seem to be a lot more capable. But I reckon I can give it one last try with this. I feel that using those metal axles would be cheating. Because then the final product wouldn't be something that anyone with Legos at home could theoretically recreate. But on the other hand, it's like a real Lego piece, but just made of a different material. So what do you guys think? Would it be cheating? I've now adapted my design to these wheel hubs. And while I don't exactly know which wheels I'm gonna use yet, I do think this is the most promising design by a long shot. As it's really solid. I'm now leaning my entire weight on it. And, well, it's still intact as far as I can see. But now I really have no pins left at all. So I guess it's just a matter of waiting again. The package containing the final parts has just arrived. So now let's finally finish building this thing. I first made another copy of the assembly that holds the wheels, because we of course need 2 of those. And while I thought the wheels were more than strong enough to hold me, this would very soon turn out to be far from the truth. But first it was now time to connect the wheels to the skateboard. Making sure I used lots of pins here, because it's crucial that this part is as robust as possible. After that, it was another 2 hours of building to finish the entire deck. Only 2 more layers left to go. And by the way, it's a good thing that I actually ended up ordering 1,000 of these pins. Because, well, you can see for yourself how many are left. But don't worry, there are still a few left over there. But we're actually so close now, so let's finally complete this thing for real now. Well, now it all comes down to this. Maybe I started a project 3 weeks ago that isn't even physically possible. But I guess we're about to find out. The weeks of non-stop building now all came down to this. Oh man, that's awesome! It's sort of able to hold me. It's cracking like crazy, but... oh well. It seems that these 3 pins on the wheel hubs aren't tight enough to hold the wheels in place. And it appears I just did a straight up terrible job at designing the areas that hold the wheels to the skateboard. So it was back to the drawing board, as I clearly had some reworking to do. You might also be wondering why I'm not using tires and just the plain wheels instead. Well, there are 2 reasons actually. The first is that real skateboard wheels are more plastic-like than rubber. And the second reason is that the tires don't seal very well on the wheels. So whenever they face too much pressure, they just simply deflate. Let's see if these improvements will make any difference. No, they haven't. The problem is that the wheels are pushed at an angle, then they want to go this way, and as a result it pulls itself out of the wheel hub with axle and all. So what if I would take these long axles, attach both wheels to them like this, and then take as many of these parts as possible and add them all to the axle, so that it can't be pulled out both ways. Wait, let me just show you. Yeah, it's morning again, I'm working overtime to finish this build in time. But anyway, I didn't use those long axles, as with them the wheels couldn't rotate independently. Instead, I ended up using one of these, because they have a stop at the end. Which means there's no possible way to pull them out. But once again, it wasn't enough. No, it's not intact. I really was losing hope now. So, as a final resort, I drastically tackled the reinforcements by building an entire cage around the wheels. That's one side finished. And that's both sides done. I will say that it now looks more like some sort of futuristic skateboard, but I think it looks cool. But anyway, we now need to find out if this has fixed the problem. Otherwise, I really don't know what I can do anymore. Please, just please say this works. Alright, I'm standing. Wait, let me try something. Oh my god, it actually works. Whee! I think it could still benefit from a few last minute modifications, but I think we're almost ready to go to a skate park. I made a few more minor tweaks, and just like that, it was finally complete. And there it is, the fully built Lego skateboard. Now let's head to a skate park to see what it's really capable of. And we've arrived. Let's start with a small ramp first. Oh, it sort of did it. Would I actually be able to go on one of these? Slide off it? I don't know. Let's find out. As you can probably tell, I'm very far from a decent skateboarder. But, well, I had to give it a try to test this Lego skateboard. Let's give this one last shot. Oh my god. I sort of did it. Alright, let's now test a bit of a bigger ramp. Alright, don't think too much, just roll. Oh, that didn't end well. But that's the beauty of Lego. When something breaks, like this, you can just simply rebuild it and you're good to go. And just like that, we're on our way again. And then it was time for the grand finale. Oh. It's obviously nowhere near as capable as a real skateboard. But did it work? Yeah, it really sort of did. Should you now ditch your real skateboard? No, please don't. Because, well, in the end, it's still just plastic. And on that bombshell, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And you can probably tell this is my first time.